Hello, scrappy friends. It's another Off the Board with Pineapple Papers, and today is special. This day, which is the last Wednesday of the month, is the day that we would normally do our monthly scrap lists. So every once in a while, we decide to do Crystal decides that she's going to do a video every day, and she invites us to participate if we like, all throughout the month. And so that's what it's been this month of July. But most months, you'll just find us on the last Wednesday of every month. So what we did was select this Pinterest mood board, and you can see it has these bright tropical images. There are pineapples in here because Crystal is Miss Pineapple Papers. And there's this color scheme of teal and hot pink that is kind of what I'm gonna head for. And I'm gonna throw a pineapple in there just for the heck of it. But I love this mood board, and I plan to someday do something with this. And I also like this and that color scheme with the coral and the darker teal. And I really like the saying, you're better than that. So I love this, and I could break it down and use almost every element in here. But I'm going to kind of go with this one, which is the pink and the aqua with the pineapples. So we'll see how I end up. Again, I'm using the Mind the Scrap Week 1 rules for the summer challenge, and that is to scrap lift from the gallery. And I've chosen this lovely layout that was done by Claire Rachel Thomas as a scrap lift of Gill Birch. And so I'm taking this one because it has the place for the packaging technique, and I really like how her paper strips go at an angle. I've actually lifted Gill on this one in the past, a few weeks ago, but there's a lot about this one that I like better than the one I did. So this will be the inspiration for my design. And the other rules are to use the color yellow, so I'll have that in there. Use 3 numbers, so I'm actually going to incorporate that in my title. Picture of holidays or at the beach. This was a vacation holiday trip we took Katie on all through our old stomping grounds from back when we used to live in Europe, in Brussels. This was our first stop in London, and we were at a pub. We had real pub food, and we were at a true London pub. So she was thrilled, and she took that selfie. She's the queen of selfies, and John and I are sitting there like grandparents. And use the packaging technique. So that's what I'm going to do. First of all, I've cut my strips for this part, and I'm not quite sure how I'm going to make that slant. I cut these from a 6x8 pad, so I'm going to have to stitch them together, and then I'm going to overlap that stitching with the photo to hide the seam. So we'll see how successful I am on that. So for the packaging technique, I'm going to do 3 colors of ink. It'll be the teal color, and this teal is going to be a little greener than the one in the I'm using the watercolor, the liquid watercolor that came. It's by Pink Fresh, and I forget what color they call this. I don't know if there's a color listed on it, but you can probably figure that out. I'm going to take 3 different segments because I'm using 3 colors. I'm going to take 3 segments of this packaging, and this is soft. It's a little different from the packaging I did when I did the yellow on an earlier layout. Let me see. I'm assuming my photo's going to go somewhere here, so I'll kind of smoosh that around there and here. And that's probably enough of the teal. I'm gonna toss my packaging there. I'm going to do the yellow next. And I'm gonna see if I can do something maybe just a little bit in a few places. Okay, and now I'm using a different product. This is Heidi Shine in hot pink. So I'm going to put it down here. This should have a nice sheen to it. And it can touch either the teal or the yellow, and I can actually let's see if I have my photo here. Yeah, that I may want some right there. Okay, and that's going to create kind of a purple color where it touches, and I, of course, love that. I'm going to put a little over here. I'm going to have a kind of a corner cluster there. So we'll see. Now I'm going to roll all this up and put it in here. I'm actually going to take my paper towel roll and try to roll it dry. Okay, I'm gonna call that dry. It really wasn't, a lot of it was already dry. Okay, so I'm going to take this and run it kind of at an angle and just tape it on, and then I'll cut the excess off the back side. So you see how to do that. Well, if I get more adhesive than I need, I'll just be cutting it off the back side. So let me do this, and I'll kind of angle it over, and I'll do this. I know it's going to have to stick to the rest of the paper, so we'll make sure it does that. Okay, so I've got a seam right there, and it actually matches. Go figure. Okay, now I'm going to do this, and I'm going to overlap on here. I'll do it that way, and then I'll just kind of put tape along there. I can't tuck it under, or can I? I like that better because then I can have a thinner bit of the yellow. I'll get my tweezers to pull that out. Actually, that's kind of how thin I'd like that to be. I'm not going to I'm not going to distress my papers on this, my strips, like Claire did. pull this up because, and I should have thought this through maybe. Okay, there we go. It's okay if it's a little uneven, I think. Now this one I know is going to be a problem because I got a lot of good adhesive down there. Okay, let's see if that works. Let me make sure this has adhesive on there. Okay, good. Now, let's see. I tell you what, I'll worry about separating that or cutting that off when I'm absolutely sure that all this is dry. I have put foam on the back. I actually matted the photo with scraps from this paper and another balloon paper from the paper pad that came in the kit. So that's the balloon paper, and I used it on its side so you really can't tell it's balloons, but it has all the right colors in it. So I'm going to put a little dab of glue here so that stays down, and if I do that, it almost doesn't look like there's a seam. There is kind of with the yellow there. Okay, so I'm probably just gonna barely overlap that. I want to do the photo parallel with this side. I have to do it that way. Parallel with that. Okay, that's good. And I'm going to, I think, use this on the side. So I'm going to cut it. I'll do that. Let me quickly kind of just insert that under here. There. Okay, and now I'll put a little bit of glue, and that'll be down, and that really, of course, hides that seam. I was going to use this kind of up at the top, but I have this, which is a sticker from this Vicki Boutin set, and I'm going to do this. I put the sticker down on some the branding strips, and then I fussy cut around so you can see a little hint of the colorful stripes around there, which makes this color, the aqua is part of the color scheme, but nothing else is. So there, that has Katie saying, "I'm not lost, I am exploring." And then here she says, "I'm here for the food." And just kind of, again, I put some foam behind that, so it's okay. Let me cut these ends off with scissors. It's easier to do it this way. Okay. And then I'll do the same down here. Okay. And then I I will have to use my trimmer to get this, because I could never get that straight. So let's go back to this, and I'm going to build my little cluster down here. I'm going to start it with this paper flower, which I'm going to put right there. And then I'm going to say, we were celebrating Katie's 13th birthday, so my title is going to be 13 Years, One Fab Trip. And I'm going to slide that in under so it's definitely part of it. I used these, which were from a previous Mind the Scrap kit. These like tiny alphas, except they're big. And I mounted them on foam. I just, you know, did that to give them some height. And so my 1 and 3 count as 2 numbers, and my second one counts as my 3rd number. So that's fitting the requirements of the Mind the Scrap Summer Challenge rules. Okay, and now I'm going to do a little handwritten journaling. Let's see, I scrap lifted Claire's scrap lift of Gill, and I used the color yellow. I used 3 numbers, a 1, a 3, and a 1. This was definitely a holiday trip. It's not at the beach. And I used the packaging technique. So I've met all the requirements. I'm actually going to cut this off camera. I'm going to trim that because my pineapple may be over the line here, and I may have to do some surgery on the pineapple. So I don't want you to have to suffer through that on camera, but I think I kept with the mood board. I've got my pineapple and my mix of colors. This pattern paper has the colors that I was trying to use, and these inks really kind of repeat that. Not sure what I might want to do here. If anything, probably nothing. So, well, actually, I am going to add some black ink splatters. And the reason for that is that I've got this black and white here. I love black and white with color, but I kind of like it to be repeated several times. Okay, there we go. That is done. So that was it. I love it. I hadn't scrapbooked this except in the special little album that I had made for Katie. So I don't have a 12 by 12 with that photo in it. So I'm going to go do my surgery here, and I'll post the result when the video goes live, and I'll see you next time. See you tomorrow again for another Off the Board. We'll be doing it to the end of the month, and then I won't see you till the last Wednesday in August. So I've really enjoyed doing these every day with Crystal and the gang, and thank you all so much for watching and leaving comments and liking and subscribing. I really appreciate it. Bye.